Hello everybody, welcome back. This is the Carvers Woodshop from Honeybrook, PA. I'm just going to wait a few seconds here, about 30 seconds, for people to pop into the room. This is live on a cold January night in 2022. Hello, hello. I'm going to just wait a little bit yet, and then we'll start with our carving here. Hello everybody. Some of you know I did a couple of these when I first started last year of the critter. Hi Jen and Jack. It's very cold here. It's only 13 degrees outside right now, Fahrenheit. So it's cold here in PA. But this is the one we did last year. Now I'm going to do something a little different. We're going to cut the feet off. This is going to be a 2.5 inch by 1.5 by 1.5. Hi Jim. And we're going to go ahead and carve this a little bit different with the feet, black shoes in the front instead of the little feet. So I'm just going to start here. So the first thing you want to do is take your pencil, if I can find my pencil. Oh, here it is. You just want to make like a circle in the middle, and then you want to drape the hat down on either side, just like you do with a Santa hat. Not much difference. You can measure it, so with your fingers, it usually works out pretty good. Hello, James. And then I'm going to wrap this back, wherever this is, I'm going to wrap this back and around like so. Let's see, right there's the other one. We'll match this up. Alright. The other thing I also did was I already put the heart in the middle. You know, it's very hard to get two sides exactly the same. So if you need a little more time to do that, you certainly can. We'll work on that a little bit later, but we'll put the feet in first and then we'll work on the heart. But we're going to work on the hat first. That's usually the first thing we start with. So this is my little critter for Valentine's. So I'm just going to notch each corner of the hat out first. And somebody asked me if I was selling those shirts that you saw. No, I'm not selling those shirts. They are my own. I have asked a family member of mine when I was up in Canada who has one of these machines, and I said if they could do 4 different shirts for me with my name on it for shows and such. So they're not for sale. You need a V-tool. That's the next thing we need. Okay, so once you do all the corners, I'm just going to go over here and cut each of these out and connect them. Maybe later, Jim. I never thought of people wanting to buy them, but we'll see. I told the person earlier, oh, not right now. Okay, so we have that all taken care of. Now we're going to take our knife and we're going to recut this portion of it. All right. And you're going to cut the back off one more time. And this one more time. Okay, what's wrong with this point? Something's wrong with it. It sounds like it's dragging. Okay. I don't think so. It's just... it is dragging. Something's wrong with that point of that knife. Let me switch to something else here. The other news I have for you is the fact that I can't get these large knives anymore. Not right now. Everything is shortage. I bought 8 different knives to see which one I'd like to replace this one. So once I get that set up, I think I have 3 of these left. I probably will be able to get them later again, but not right now. until things settle down a little bit with the shortage. And I haven't found them anywhere, so I need to call my supplier and see if I can get them. But right now, I can get plenty of the smaller ones. These here. Let's see, where's my smaller one? I know I have it here somewhere. Or do I not have it here? I don't have it here right now. Okay, anyway, those I can probably still get. I still have some lumber left. I need to reorder those as well. I'm going to round this off here a little bit on the corners, tiny bit. And yeah, it's a funny thing, you know. Some things you're able to reorder, and some things you can't. So for right now, though, I think there's a bit of a lag in the shipping, as we all know. What I'm going to do is scoop out the hat right now. Scoop out the one side. You're going to scoop all the way up to the top. On this side, we have that little tip coming out here. So, yeah. So we're just going to kind of scoop it inward from the corner. I go a little bit down one way, and then I'll come up this way. Okay. So, I know it's cold up north, and I know it's cold here. Tomorrow it's supposed to be up to 40 again, so I'm looking forward to that, and turn off the heaters everywhere. So we're going to cut the back out, and scoop this out, and then we'll start rounding the hat off a little bit. These are so nice to do, you know, if you want a fun project for a quick evening, you know, to make these. So I'm going to scoop this out. And I'm just going to take the top off. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of a scoop here, so I'm just going to just make it look like it's coming out a little bit. So, yeah, some of the tools are getting a little harder to find and to get, simply because of the shortage, I think, everywhere of some supplies and stuff. But I have most things still here, but to replace them, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to find stuff. But I'll figure it out. Like I said, with the knives, I'll have to, hello, Joy. I'll have to figure out the knife. I'm pretty sure I can get these again. I'm just not sure when. And that's the problem. So, like I said, I probably have 3 left. I have plenty of the smaller ones left because I had just ordered some before the fall. And, but I'm ordering 8 or 9 knives now that I can play with, because I love adding new knives to my collection anyway. And, you know, I love the Rough Rider. So I'll try different ones there. Some are better, some are not. Like, here's a small one, just to show you. Here's a real tiny one, okay? This is really not an easy one to hang on to, but it matches the others. Now, this is a very small one. It has one long blade. It has a very, very small blade on it, and it works really well for small detail. But if you have a big hand, this is not going to be comfortable for you. But, you know, it's really no different than working. That will give you an idea how long it is. It's not even as long as the V-tool. So that was one I tested. Here's another one I checked out, and I wasn't real happy with it. So unless I'm happy with it, I won't resell it. Is a Barlow knife, and it has one large one and one small one. And I just, for some reason, it's not my most comfortable knife. The ones I like the best are the ones that I do sell, is this one and the small one. So, so yeah. So it's going to be, I'll see what else I can replace it with. If you're interested in a knife yet, I'll come up with something. Alright, so we're rounding off the hat right now. I hope everybody's staying nice and safe and is healthy. There's a lot of COVID going around our area here. I think it's everywhere. But, yeah, so, and there's another tool that I'd like to try to get, and I'm not sure. I may have to revamp a newer one to fit what I like it to do. And I found it when I had my hand, when my wrist was broken. That turned out pretty neat to use. So if I can find one, I'll try to find something that will work. But I haven't found anything quite the way I like it. So, and like I said, unless I use it, I will not sell anything I don't use myself here. Okay. So so this is the bottom part of the nose right here. And we're going to just go straight in, and we're going to just take it out from each side. And then when you cut the nose in, remember you want to go from the front. You don't want to push it into the nose. You don't want to do it sideways. You want to look at it straight from the front, parallel with that corner. So I'll make that a little deeper. I just want to try to get... Hello, Rich. Your package went out today. Just to let you know. So. I'll bring this up. There we go. It's not as round as I'd like it to be, so I'm going to just bring this up a little bit. And we're going to round this off a little bit. You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for the order. Alright, so now I'm going to take my V-tool, and down here, before we even start with the, hello Dean, the heart, we're going to do his little shoes in the front. I like them in the front. I've been doing a lot of that with the Santas and with the snowman we did last week, and I really like it. I think it has a nice look to it. So let me make sure it looks somewhat similar here. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. So, yeah, that's about right. So what I use is my V-tool, and where is it? It's here somewhere. Here we go. And I'm just going to follow that line with my V-tool. Just doesn't have to be real big feet. You know, it's just, you're going to, usually I go from the center towards the outside. I don't work from the outside in. Okay, here's one. And we'll do the other one. Okay, so there's the 2 feet. What I do there is I'll go back with my knife and I'll just cut it. Let me cut it this way. I'm going to make it a lot deeper because I want that foot to stick out a little bit, that shoe. If you have any questions, the hand's doing okay. It's a little stiff and it's a little sore, but it's not quite there yet. I think it's going to take about 6 months to a year for that to feel back to the way it was, but it's doing well. Just have to be careful with it a little bit. That's all. Nothing that can't be fixed. Thank you for asking. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We will, I'll try to answer it the best I can. I'm going to take that. So the hat here, before we go further here, the hat I usually do at an angle like so. I just chop those corners off a little bit. Okay. this I'll work on a little bit more in just a bit here. And then I just kind of round this off a little bit. I don't make it completely flat. You want it kind of curved, okay, on the sides. Okay, good. And then the back side we're going to do it as well. Perfect. And then this little hard edge here, this little square edge, we're going to take that off with the knife. Same thing over here. Okay, good. And, yeah. Hang on just a second. I might have thrown that other knife in my pocket and didn't realize that I threw it in my pocket. Don't know what I did with that. Hang on just a second, okay? I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. I promise. I'm on my way back. Normally I don't walk away from my videos, but it will be on YouTube in about an hour after I'm done here. Usually it takes me about an hour. This is a smaller one I still have, okay? The small one and the big one is the two that I have, and this is what I'm going to use now. Alright. So I always put it onto YouTube later, folks. Always. The latest that usually gets on there is by 10 o'clock, but I usually have it way before that. Okay, so I'm going to make it a little bit deeper right here, where the nose, right there, I usually like to make it kind of deep. See the difference when you make it deeper than when if you don't? It just gives it a little more depth to it, which is nice. Makes it stand out a little bit better. Okay, good. Okay, so we did the feet. We're going to just take that hard edge off a little bit. We're going to bring this down a little bit for the... And we're going to just bring this out. Kind of make that into a point for the bottom part of the heart. All right, we're not done with the feet yet, but you get the idea. All right. So now we're going to do the heart in the middle. So let's redo this. And if you really want to put somebody's name on it or put something in the middle, whether it's a little banner or whatever you're going to do, or whatever saying, you can do it with a Sharpie. That works out pretty well. It usually doesn't bleed. You know, sometimes in wood it can bleed, but if you paint it first and then put it on, it shouldn't bleed. Okay? And if it does, you just repaint it, that's all. It's very simple. Always a way to fix this stuff, really. So now I'm going to take my little, well actually I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to dig in here a little bit, just to get that corner out at the top of the heart. Glad everybody's come to stop in. Thanks for doing so. I didn't know what I was going to do this week, and I thought, well, why not some Valentine stuff? Might be nice. I need to get some bears done to resell. I might be open a little bit before Valentine's Day. Usually I'm open the Saturday before Valentine's Day. And I think I'll do that again this year if I get enough stuff done. But, alright, so we cut the very top out. Now we're going to take our little V tool and let me put my glasses on here a little bit so I can see it a little bit better. We're going to just follow that on the outside of that line. There we go. And okay, and we're going to do this one a little bit differently than we did the other one. We're going to go on the outside. We're just going to put a pair of little hands on the outside once we're done with this. Okay. And right here, you can put a little hand right here. A little hand over here. Let's see if we can get that coming down. Let's see if I can get that pretty even here. I always said getting the two sides to match, somewhat match, is the difficult part. Alright, so I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to recut it right up to there. I'm not going to do around, and I'm going to go around with the hand here. Well, actually, I'm going to use my V-tool for that. Let me just go around the hand like so. One. And up on the other side. Two. Okay, see it? And we're going to do the same thing over here. I usually move my piece with my left hand. It's just easier to follow a smaller line than trying to move your whole hand around, you know. So it's a little easier that way. Okay. Very uneven, but let's see if I can straighten it out a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now, we're going to take our little thing here. We're going to do this, bring this down a little deeper, and around the hand a little bit deeper. Not across, because you don't want that too deep. And right there. Okay? And then you're going to take the tip of your knife, you're going to just kind of pull everything out. Hello, Alabama. Okay. Yeah, if you have any questions, I'll try to catch it. I only see a couple of people at a time that come and go from the room. So if I missed you, I'm sorry. It's hard to do this and keep an eye on it, but I do my best. Alright, it's the same thing over here. We're going to cut it a little bit deeper. Go around the hand. And bring this down a little bit more. Hello, Randy. If you're watching this later on YouTube, this is a live broadcast on Facebook. I usually have something on Tuesday nights. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Alright. And I'm going to bring this down. We're going to bring this whole thing down a little bit. There we go. Not much new around here. Somebody asked if I was going to have classes again. No, not anytime soon. Not here at the farm anyway. I think we'll just leave it online for a while. This, of course, has to be a little deeper, folks. So let's go ahead and recut that, because when I started to round it off, I lost that little corner that I had taken off here. There we go. So this is a nice, easy project you should be able to get done in an hour or two. I'm not including the painting on that, folks. That's just the carving part. If you want to make a few of these, if you want to order any of these, welcome to do so. I will try to get some done in the next couple of weeks. Yes, Rich, there is one show coming up. Somebody asked if there's any shows coming up. Yes, Lancaster County is having a show. I believe it's the weekend of, let me guess here, March the 10th. I believe it's then. I plan to be there if everything goes as planned. You know, we don't always, things can change on a dime, we know that, but I believe they're still going forward with it. They sent out a questionnaire some time ago if we were willing to wear a mask the whole time, because apparently the place that we do the show at is at Millersville University on the other side of Lancaster, PA. And they had asked if we would be willing to, because that's what they require. I have no problem with that. None whatsoever. So, and I think it's a good idea. I think I would have worn one anyway. But, so I guess most people were fine with doing that. So I don't know how many vendors we'll have, but usually it's a very good show. This is, haven't been there for a couple of years. Okay, so what you want to do is take all this rough stuff off. And I'll have more information about that show as time goes on. Okay. Let me take this back here just for a second here. Let me take a look here. See if I can make this just a tad deeper. Okay. What I did was I took my little V tool and I just followed that again. So, yeah, it looks a little off and I'm not sure why. Because I guess I'm doing it in front of a camera and I'm not really able to take my time with it, but you have the idea of how to do this. Now if you want to put an arrow through it, you can do that. You know, if you didn't want the hands there, you can put an arrow through it if you want. That's always an option as well. But I'm just bringing this down a little bit. And then I'm going to trim this off in the back here. Yes, I do. In fact, I almost have to buy more lumber. I have all the cutouts for this size, which is the 2.5 by 1.5 by 1.5. They're packs of 11 in a pack. And then there's the nativity set, and there is Noah's Ark, and then there's a large 3.5 inch pieces, which is this here. There's 11 pack that I sell for that. Pre-cut, meaning they're in a cone shape, like what you saw when we started this piece here. And yes, I am drinking hot chocolate today. Just hang on. Now it's cool chocolate, but anyway. So yes, if you're looking for my online store, it's Carvers. Just put in Carvers Woodshop. Google it, Carvers Woodshop online store, and it will pop up. Okay, let's bring this down a little bit more. You want to keep that curvy, okay? So it's like a fluffy beard that we're going to put in there. And I'll clean this up a little bit more after I get off of here. But, yeah, we want to take all this rough stuff off. Remember, you don't want that on there. Otherwise, it's going to be a booger to paint it. So, yes. I just saw on the news that they're telling us not to travel to Canada. Well, they had that before I went up. They had a cautionary. I went up anyway, because I wasn't going anywhere but my family up there at Christmas. But I hear we have a little more snow than you guys do right now. Or did. Most of it's gone now. I had the great joy of plowing, which I'm not real kept on, but I do it. This one here is the 2.5. This one here is the 3.5. Okay, it's 1 inch longer. And that's the one we did our snowman, or my snowman is. Last week was a 3.5. So this is called the setting series. This is called the block cutout on this one. It's called the ornaments series. Because this is where I do all these different ornaments out of this size. I really enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy that I don't have to cut out 10 different things a lot of times to do numerous different projects. You know, if you get tired of carving one thing, well then you just do something a little different on your next piece. So now we're just undercutting the nose a little bit more. So that's a little more prominent. Again, you're going to get rid of all this rough stuff. So the hat's pretty well done, okay? Now, on this one, you can paint little hearts on it if you want. You can carve the hearts on. That's what I did on my very first one. But this is going to just be a little different. It's going to have little black booties on the bottom and his hands holding it. So the hands, you know, whoops, sorry. The hands here, we're going to have to put 3 little slits in here to show little fingers. So I usually do that with a point of the knife. There's 1. And just take it a little bit at an angle and just stick it in there. Go on the other side. There's 2. I'll just put 2 in. 1. And 2. Alright, so that's little hands holding it. I'm going to round this off a little bit more, and I'll paint this up later. I'll show you a picture of it when I get it painted. I got to make a lot of new DVDs from the last year and a half or so. I've been not as diligent taking care of that. I was busy with other things. So, yeah, that works out pretty good. So, the one thing I'm going to do is trim this down, just kind of blend everything together before we start putting in the that one is on YouTube if you want the one with the feet. This is more the ornament size, which has the little feet on the bottom, or the little shoes. So I'm going to put a little heel on this boot here, just like so. Same thing over here. Maybe 1/8 of an inch off the bottom, if that. Okay, so that's that portion. And we're going to go ahead and put in the, I'm just looking at it, see if there's anything more I need to trim off. Trim off a little bit more. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, you can make it either way. I think when I did that one, I told people they could. Now this one's holding it a little differently. He's got big hands holding it to match his feet. So this one here, I just have little hands holding it. Alright, so I'm going to try to trim all this off. Okay, now it's time to do the beard. These little gnomes, Marvin's doing quite well. He's sitting next to my little Mr. Buddy heater, and he's just watching me. I think he's very comfortable there. He's been out all day in the cold, and he wanted to come in, so. Okay, so I'm going to spray this a little bit with some, just to soften it up so it's a little easier to do this stuff. I'll be right back. I have a cut in my finger on a paper slice, and I just hit it with that cleaner. Ouch. If you want to know where your cuts are in your hand, just use that rubbing alcohol. That will do it for you. Okay, so now we're going to just start trimming some of this out. And I'm just going to take little strokes here. Okay, so I'm going to head towards the heart now. And I'm going to take very light little strokes. I don't want to knock anything out. I don't want to hit off a finger or put any marks into the heart itself. Let's see. Okay, there we go. We can trim this down a little bit more. Alright, there you go. Now we're going to work our way around the other side here. I'm going to turn it around because I want to be very careful going into the feet. We don't leave a lot of marks, stab wounds as I call them, into spots you don't want that to happen. And now I'll have another one to paint later on. I probably have about 15 or 20 to paint again. And it's never too early to do things for Christmas. And I know we're just past Christmas and we've got other holidays coming up, but it's never too late. So I know since I had broken my wrist in the fall, we're going to do 2 more critters in the next week. We're going to do a Thanksgiving one, and we're going to do a Christmas one with a wreath. So those I'll try to get done next week. So we're going to do critters for a couple weeks here. A lot of you seem to enjoy doing them, so a lot of it's the same as what we're doing now, but it's just little different things in the front. You can put his feet to the side, or you can put it in the front like I did here. I really like that. It makes it stand out really, really nice, having it between the 2 feet, then all the way here, and then having a little bit of a beard. So I really like that. We're just going to finish this up tonight. And you notice I'm always doing it towards the hat first, and then I work my way to the outside, and then I do the center. Always to the edge, or whatever you're working from, you know, works pretty well. So next week you'll need the same size block, and then we'll do the Thanksgiving one first. Then you'll have all the seasons, the different holidays for the year. I promised you I would have done that, and some broken arm got in the way, so. But kind of wanted to do it when the season was there, but I'm going to do it now since we're all home and trying to stay warm. So there's our little critter, folks. It didn't take a lot of time. He's holding a heart. You can put whatever lettering you want in the front. That's what he looks like. Similar to this, but it's a little different. I hope you enjoyed it, and it will be up on YouTube very shortly, and then once I get this painted, I'll post it on Facebook for you. All right, so take care. I hope you had a good night, and we'll see you next week, and we'll do another critter. Good night, folks.